Welcome to Speaking of Spirituality, a podcast to share about the path of spiritual awakening. I'm your host, Amelia McLean, and I am so excited to be showcasing some inspiring stories and exploring some interesting topics, all under the umbrella of spirituality. So without further ado, let's dive right in. This week's episode is all about my meditation journey and how that has unfolded for me over the years. But before we begin, I just want to say I'm wearing my husband's hoodie. This is from his Maze Artwork company, and it's called A Maze Life Project. And if you're listening to this on anything other than YouTube, please hop over to my YouTube channel, and check out this episode so that you can see this awesome hoodie. This is the Space Unicorn hoodie. You can also look at it on his website. It's called A Maze Life Project, and I'll put the link in the description below. And I'm just so proud to be repping his artwork and wearing some of his apparel. It was actually really cute because earlier today I was wearing this and he was wearing one of his maze shirts with the bears, and our son was wearing his hoodie with the waves. And it was just really cute that we were all wearing his maze artwork. It's really special. This episode is not about his maze artwork, but I just feel so proud of him and everything that he's done with his artwork, and I'm so happy to talk about it any chance that I get. So my meditation journey began in the fall. It was actually, I remember it was October of 2018, really significant time of my life because everything started to change so rapidly for me when I started doing daily yoga and meditation. I started with yoga. This is part of my spiritual awakening story also, so I might be repeating some of what I shared in that episode where I talk about my spiritual awakening. But this, I just wanted to focus more on my meditation practice and what that really looked like when I began and how it's transformed over the years and what I'm doing now. And so I started doing my daily yoga in 2018 in the fall, and I started shortly after that. I added in the meditation because I just felt drawn to meditate, and I specifically was very drawn to candle gazing meditation. I had read an article about it like sometime before that. I'd heard about it and was intrigued, and I love candles, and I thought, oh, candle gazing, just staring at a candle, like that sounds like fun. And so when I felt that urge to meditate in conjunction with my yoga practice, I immediately just was like, well, I'm going to try this candle gazing thing. So I don't even know if I read that article to begin with. I think my meditation practice just started with sitting and trying to focus on my breathing and doing what I thought that I knew what meditation was. I feel like I also wanted to say that I feel like a lot of people that know of meditation but haven't actually practiced meditation just think that meditation is just trying to sit with your eyes closed and not think about anything. And I would say to some degree it is that, but it's a lot more than that, and there's so many different types of meditation is what I learned, and it actually can look very, very different than that. There's so many different ways to meditate. So if you're thinking about starting meditation practice, just know that it doesn't have to just be sitting and trying not to think about anything with your eyes closed. So I started sitting with my eyes closed, and what I was doing was focusing on my breath. You know what? I just realized something. This is when my meditation practice started being daily at home, but I actually did do some meditation before this time, and that was with a Buddhist meditation group in Arcata who meets weekly. They were meeting during that time, they were meeting on Wednesday nights, and my friend Heather had started getting into that group, and so she told me about it, and I went for a little while to that group. So that was like my first weekly meditation. But then, yeah, so jump forward to the fall of 2018 when I started doing my daily meditation, which is what really changed my life really rapidly. And I think that it was specifically the type of meditation that I was doing. I'm not entirely sure. It could just be the fact that I was meditating every day. And also the other piece is that I was listening to my intuition. So that is the byproduct of my meditation practice, is that it helped me to tap into my intuition more and to really listen to, well, that's the other part of it, is you can receive the intuitive guidance, but if you're not acting on that, nothing's going to change. So it was the combination of the fact that I was receiving more intuitive guidance, but also that I was taking action, and I was actively trying to change my life. So I began, as I said, just sitting, and I think it was like maybe like 5 minutes, and then I would do my yoga practice. And I started slowly just feeling these nudges to add other elements. So I started using a little tea light candle, and I would just light it in front of me, and I would burn some sage, and maybe I had like a crystal or something too. And so I would just sit and breathe and then do my stretching. And then shortly after that, I started doing the candle gazing meditation. And like I said, I'd heard about it. I read an article about it. And then when I really wanted to start practicing it, I reread that article, and I'll link that article down below also, because that is really helpful and it explains what candle gazing is. And I want to create a candle gazing, well, I have already started creating a little candle gazing like how-to kind of ebook thing. And so yeah, I feel passionately about sharing this work with other people, this meditation, and it is a very intense type of meditation, I'll just say, because you are sitting with your eyes open and you're not closing your eyes. So it's no blinking is the goal. And you sit like that with your eyes open, staring at the candle flame. It's just so intense. And then you sit like that until your eyes actually start to water. So it's just really gnarly, because you have to fight past the urge to blink, because at first it feels so uncomfortable to have your eyes be like burning from not blinking. But then once you get past that point, then your eyes start to water, and because they're trying to like moisten themselves, right? And so they start to water and fill up with water, and then the tears will start to come out. It's not like you're crying, but it is tears that are coming out of your eyes. And then you can just sit like that for as long as you want to, really. But usually nowadays I'll just close my eyes after both my eyes start to water. But yeah, so when I first started out, it was definitely a learning experience, and there is a learning curve to it. Like, I didn't just go immediately to sitting with my eyes open for 5 minutes without blinking. I gave myself grace, and I let it be okay that if I felt like I couldn't keep them open and I needed to blink, that was okay, and I would do that. And I think that's really important too, because if we're being really harsh on ourselves when we're trying to meditate, when we're learning how to meditate, and like, being like, oh man, like I'm such a fucking piece of shit because I couldn't do it, it's like, or, you only lasted for a short period of time. It's like, you're really like defeating the purpose of even meditating in the first place, because that's definitely not the purpose, to like beat yourself up about it and like talk shit to yourself. So Yeah, but yeah, so that's what I did, was the candle gazing, and I, I got better at it over time, and I was so dedicated to the practice. I was like really wanted to just like dive into it and like see what would happen if I did this meditation every day. And I just got so into it, and I really started to enjoy that time, and it took a little while for me to get used to the whole like not blinking thing, but it actually became a practice of non-attachment for me, because I was also learning about non-attachment at that time, which is a Buddhist idea. And I think of Buddhism more as like a philosophy than a religion. It's really like a way of life, like principles to live by. But one of them is about non-attachment, and so that can mean a lot of things. But for me, in candle gazing, it meant non-attachment to the physical sensations that I was feeling in my body, just to know that they're all temporary and they're all fleeting, and they're gonna pass, you know. So that became an important piece for me to think about when I was doing the candle gazing meditation. And so, like I said, the candle gazing really helped me to become really connected to my intuition, and that I believe is because the candle gazing helps to clear the third eye chakra. I'm sorry. Yes, the third eye chakra. Well, that was weird. I thought I said the wrong thing there. I think I was thinking of number 3 chakra, which would be the solar plexus. But anyway, so the third eye chakra, candle gazing helps to clear that out. So if you have, trouble connecting with your intuition, candle gazing would be a really great thing for you to try. And yeah, so I think that's why it was so powerful for me to change my life really quickly, because it helped me to open my third eye. And it happened so fast because I was doing the candle gazing. And I think that's why my spiritual awakening came on so strong at that time, because it really like burst my third eye wide open, is what I like to say, and helped me, like, it disillusioned me from the life that I was living, and really connected me with my true purpose in life and where I really want to be. And a lot of that came in really quickly at the same time that I let go of my old self. And I was so eager and ready for change, and just really like on this path of personal development and spiritual evolution. And so I think that also really led to my life changing really, really rapidly. And yeah, and so I just followed my intuition with my meditation practice. I was intuitively guided to do the candle gazing, and then I started adding other elements. I don't remember exactly when I started adding these things in, but it was just like whenever I felt the urge to, like, do a breath work practice. So that's what I started doing. I started doing alternate nostril breathing at the beginning of my meditation. So before I would do the candle gazing, I would do alternate nostril breathing. And if you don't know what that is, this isn't the time for me to share that, but it's something that you can definitely look up. And it's a breathing technique where you alternate breathing through each of your nostrils. And what it does is it helps to balance the hemispheres of the brain, and it really relaxes you. So it's a good thing to do at the beginning of the meditation time, because it really helps you get centered and grounded and kind of like prepped to meditate, kind of helps to calm your mind. And so that's what I started doing at the beginning. And then at the end, after I did the candle gazing, I had kind of like a candle gazing sandwich. So at the end of my meditation, after I did the candle gazing, I would do some affirmations. And I just I like made up my own little simple affirmations that came to me that felt like things that I needed to connect to heal things within myself. And the other part of that affirmation piece was that I would sit with my hands in prayer position like this at my heart center, and I would actually smile. So at this time I would have my eyes closed because I was done with the candle gazing. I would close my eyes, put my hands together in prayer at heart center, and then I would smile, because smiling meditation is actually a thing, believe it or not. Smiling in itself, whether you're happy or not, releases positive hormones and chemicals in your brain that help make you happy. So if you're not happy and you smile, you might actually end up feeling happy, those feelings of happiness. And so I would sit with my big smile, as big as I could, and I would breathe in, and I would say in my head, I am, and then I would exhale and say love. I am love. Then the next one was I am light, and then I am bright, and I am beautiful. So inhaling on the I am, and then exhaling with that word that I wanted to embody. And this tremendously helped me heal on such a deep level. These simple affirmations: I am love, I am light, I am bright, I am beautiful, or beautiful bright. I don't remember. I think it was beautiful bright. Anyway, it kind of has a rhyme to it. I am love, I am light, I am beautiful, I am bright. And that helped me so much, because I do remember there being a time in my life where I didn't quite understand when people would say love and light, like it just felt so woo woo, so spiritual, so like out there before I was really in this, spiritual realm. And I thought like, oh, like what are those people talking about? Like, it felt so fake or something to me. But I started to understand what that really meant. And so I could feel that, the truth of that in my body when I would use those affirmations. So it was like I was aligning myself to the frequency of those words. And that was really powerful for me. And then the beautiful part was also really important and powerful for me, because I did a huge deep healing when I went through this process of spiritual awakening at that time, because I actually was in a place before I started doing the daily meditation. I was in a place where I didn't feel like I knew that I was beautiful. And so I was able to heal that through meditation and understanding what those subconscious beliefs were, and where they came from. And then also with using that mantra, that affirmation, it helped me to really feel like that was true, and that I could be comfortable thinking that and saying that. And then the bright was just a kind of connection to the I am light piece, and just because it rhymes with light, so I threw that one in there. And that just helped me to feel really bright and shiny as a person and as an energetic being. And yeah, so that was my meditation practice for a long time. It was just those three pieces: the breath work at the beginning, then the candle gazing, and then the affirmations and smiling meditation with my hands in prayer. And I used that little set for a long time. And I'm trying to think about when that started to change. I think I used that for a couple of years, and the next thing that's coming to me is that I stopped my meditation actually when I was pregnant with my son. So that would have been like almost 3 years ago now. Yeah, or over 3 years ago. Anyway, I can't do the math right now, but so when I was pregnant with him, I was so much more just being guided. I believe that in a huge way, I was being guided by his spirit. And I think that because I was so connected to my intuition, and because I'd been doing the practices daily, the meditation and yoga, so consistently, I was like so in tune that I think that I was really being guided by his spirit. And so during my during my pregnancy, I just felt, one day I was like, I don't really feel like meditating. Usually I didn't feel that way. Usually I was like excited to do my meditation. I looked forward to it. I knew I was going to feel even better afterward, and it would set me up to be having a great day. But something was like, I don't don't really feel like meditating. And I just went with that. I was like, okay, I'm not going to meditate. And I let that be okay, that I was like not meditating for whatever reason. I just felt like I, didn't want to. It was like, it wasn't a feeling like I shouldn't be doing it. It was just like, it felt like I didn't really want to. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do that then. And I ended up finding out that I ended up figuring out why I felt that way. And it's actually pretty cool. I did another one of these episodes with my friend Allie. I interviewed her about her spiritual awakening, and she is a channel, and she channels your spirit team, usually while she's giving you a massage, and it's like the most magical thing ever. And she also does Zoom sessions, so you should definitely check her out if you want to have some amazing spiritual guidance come through. But yeah, so she connects to your spirit team, and so during one of my sessions with her, I actually had my very first session with her while I was pregnant, and I think it was during that session that we figured out that my son's spirit, because she was channeling his spirit, he came through so strong and wanted to connect. And yeah, while he was in the womb, it was so cool. It was so crazy. But yeah, so he ended up sharing that it was really hard for his spirit to connect with me when I was doing my meditation, because she described it as like I'm very like outward when I'm meditating, rather than going inward. And I assumed that maybe that was because I have my eyes open and I'm like, aware, whereas when your eyes are closed, you're more like inward thinking. So anyway, I don't really know why, but for whatever reason, I am more outward when I'm meditating, and his energy coming through to connect with me, it was like having a hard time connecting with me. So that's why I felt intuitively guided to not be meditating during that time, so that he could then have an easier time coming through and connecting with me. And I meditated in different ways. I was doing lots of artwork during that time, and doing lots of walking my dog and things like that, which are meditative in their own way. And so, yeah, so that's when my meditation practice stopped for a while. And then I didn't start meditating again until, oh my gosh, I want to say maybe he was like 6 months old. Yeah, that sounds about right. Because I let him, what is it called? Contact nap for the first 6 months of his life. And that means that I held him. Well, I guess you could also do contact napping with a baby in a carrier on your body. But I held him on my chest almost every single nap that he took for 6 months of his life. And that was such a special bonding time for us. And I really needed that time to just sit down and relax, really, so that my body could recuperate from the crazy, what it had just done, creating this human and then birthing him. But yeah, so that was really nice to have that special 6 months of contact napping with him. And so when he was 6 months old, I finally figured out how, because I was kind of like over it at that point. I was like, okay, I need to get up and like do something. I was ready for a change, but I think he also really needed that contact napping. And so anyway, but when he was about 6 months old, I figured out how I could get him to sleep on the bed when he was napping, and that was by laying down on my side and nursing him to sleep, and then I could just kind of like slide away. But yeah, so when he started napping on the bed, then I was free. I was able to like do something, and I was immediately like, I need to start meditating again. Like I have to do this. And that was just a really also transformative and powerful time, because I started tapping into a new level of connection with my spirit team, and I was receiving different type of guidance. I was also seeing some reflections in my reality from friends. I had been, this was after we opened the Crystalline Collective studio, and I also did an episode about that a couple weeks ago. So if you want to hear all about that journey, go check out that episode. And so we were doing our event where it was called a soul activation experience, and during that I would lead the yoga nidra guided meditation at the end. And I had I also explained this whole story in the episode about my quantum soul alchemy sessions, because that's how I got into this work. So when I started meditating, I was connecting with my spirit team, and then I had a few friends say to me when I was doing the guided meditation, the yoga nidra, they were saying, it feels like you're hypnotizing me or something, what's going on? And I was like, oh, that sparked something in me. My soul was like, yes, I need to explore that and actually study hypnosis and hypnotherapy. So I did that. And then when I was doing my meditation, I was asking for guidance, and I ended up, I don't even know how it started. I just believe I was just being intuitively guided to follow the breadcrumbs or, whatever, and do the things that I was feeling drawn to do. And I had started hosting my moon circles again at that time. And I ended up just asking somebody, or I asked at one of the circles, I said, I've just started studying hypnosis, and if anyone is interested, I'd love to offer you a free session because I'm just starting out. And there was one girl that was like, me, I want to do that, I'm so interested. And so and her name is Rhonda, and actually I have another episode that is her testimonial, and I basically interviewed her about her experience, and that was really powerful. We did 3 sessions together, and it was amazing. It was just so amazing. I didn't know what I was even going to be doing when I first started doing that work. And I'm kind of going into that whole story because it's so exciting for me to talk about. But go check out that other episode if you want to know about that. Quantum soul alchemy is what I call the sessions. But back to the meditation. So this is related to my meditation practice, because when I started doing that work, I was being guided by my spirit team to know what to do for the sessions. So I would go to meditate and I would ask them, what do I need to know now? And they would give me another little piece of something. And so I was guided to use my breath and breathe in light into my chakra centers. And I had a selenite crystal wand with me, and during my meditation, and I was guided to hold that on the chakra centers as I breathe light into them. And so I'm actually gonna make a little course about this and about these meditations, because I've developed this this system of clearing the chakras. And well, I didn't develop it. I was shown something that already existed, basically, and guided to do this work. But so I was guided to do that in my own meditation, and then I realized that I could actually use those things in the sessions that I do. So what it really is quantum energy healing. It's tapping into the quantum realm and using energy to clear out other energies. And so I started doing that daily in my own meditation, because I felt that I needed to clear my chakra system. And I had that confirmed by my friend Amy, who does another type of really amazing quantum energy healing, and that's called Acasma. And I can link her below too if you want to check her out, because I also did an episode with her, and I interviewed her about her work also and her spiritual awakening. She has a really powerful story as well. And so I did a session with her, and during the session she taps into your chakra centers and checks out what's going on there. And she's like, wow, your centers are so clear. And I was like, oh, I bet that's because of the meditation practice that I do. So it's just really, really cool to have that confirmation, even though I know that that's what's happening and I should, just be solid in my knowing of that. But it's always nice to have the confirmation. So, yeah, and then the other part of my meditation that I'm doing now came to me through, I had to see somebody after I started doing the quantum soul alchemy sessions, because I was taking on a lot of really heavy, dense energy from people, and specifically like a lot of the people that I'm working with are healing really, really intense, deep traumas from childhood. And so that is really heavy on my heart. And I realized I was taking it home with me, which I didn't want to be doing. So I had to go talk to somebody about that. And that's my friend Devin Love. And she is also an amazing healing woman and holds really beautiful space for people. And she does massage also. And so I went to see her and I told her about the work I was doing and what was happening. And she helped me kind of with a little clearing and grounding technique that she uses. And so basically I used what she told me and I created my own way of doing that. And so I breathe light into my heart center, and then I send a cord of light down through the lower chakras all the way down through Mother Earth to connect with the heart of Mother Earth. And that's the grounding cord. So that helps keep me grounded. And then I breathe light into the heart again, and I send the cord of light up through the upper chakras all the way through the cosmos to connect with the heart of the universe. And that's my connection with source energy. And then I breathe light into my ego body, and I let that fall down to be held by Mother Earth. And this was the important piece that she told me about, because she was saying your ego part of you is what is getting sad for these people, or like feeling bad about whatever they went through. And that's why you're taking it home with you. So if you can let your ego just relax for a minute while you do the sessions and just know that, everything's okay, then maybe that will allow for you to not take that stuff home. So that was really helpful for me. So I do the ego release, and then I bring through my higher self, because that's what I really want to connect with, and that's part of the guidance, and the higher self is also part of the spirit team. And so and then the last part of that is I imagine my aura being filled with light, and then sealing that with an energetic barrier of pure white love and light. And that really helps create like an energetic bubble around me to protect me, for one, to keep my energy in my area, but also to help keep other energies out that I don't want to take in. And so that's basically what I do. I use both of those, the chakra light with a selenite crystal on all of my centers, and then the other pieces that I just mentioned. I do those at the beginning and the end. Well, I do one at the beginning and one at the end of my meditation, with the candle gazing in the middle. So I'm still doing the candle gazing, and it really is so important for me to have a consistent meditation practice, to be doing something every day, or like almost every day. It just really helps keep me attuned to the frequency that I want to be at, that feels good to me. Because when I slip down into a lower level frequency, it just doesn't feel good to me anymore. I can recognize it, and I know that that's not where I want to be, and that it doesn't feel good. So staying with my meditation practice consistently really helps me to feel my best and feel good, and also helps keep me connected really strongly and deeply to my intuition, because that is what I need to be connected to receive the guidance, to know which direction I need to go. Also, being in tune with my emotions and my own energy is really important too, because that's another guidance piece, another navigation tool that I use to know which direction I need to go in life, is I use my emotions and how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling good about something, I keep going in that direction. If I'm feeling bad, I go the other way, or figure out how to make it feel good. And so I am just so happy to be sharing about my meditation practice more because, yeah, it's been really, really powerful for me, like I said, and I feel really inspired to share this with other people because I know that this is a really powerful ascension tool that we can use to help us through this ascension process that we're going through and to really help clear out the things that need to be released, because that's one of the things that my meditation practice helped me to do. Was when I first started meditating, I think that's why my life changed so rapidly, because it started bringing up things to the surface that I was then becoming aware of, because I was becoming aware of my thoughts and feelings on another level. I think that's what the meditation, from my experience, that's what it's for. That's what it really helped me to do, was to become aware of my thoughts and feelings and which ones I liked and which ones I felt like were, quote unquote negative or, yeah. And that's how I got guided to heal my relationship with alcohol. When I don't know if I've shared this, and I think I did in my the episode about my spiritual awakening, but I was driving to work one day at the elementary school that I worked at. In the morning, I'm driving to work and I hear this thought in my head, and it says, I can't wait to get home and have a drink later. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's not good that I'm like driving to work, like thinking about that. And it was because I was meditating that I had that. I believe that's why I had that conscious awareness of like, oh my gosh, like I heard the thought and I thought, whoa, that's crazy. Like, I shouldn't be thinking about that right now. And then I realized that I had fallen into this pattern and really kind of accidentally became an alcoholic is really what happened. I was habitually drinking every day after work, like a ritual. Like that's just what I did every day. And I was like, I need to change that. And so I did a dry January the following year. It was near the end of the year that I had that realization. And so I waited until January 1st because that's a good time to, all the New Year's resolutions and everything. And that really changed my life. And then I just kept going with those little nudges and those inklings of things need to change and be different and really need to align with how I want to feel good. I realized also through that process that I am creating my own reality. And so I thought, well, if I've created this reality so far, I can create a brand new reality if I want to. And that's how I use my meditation practice now to really connect with what I am wanting to align to. And quieting the mind and getting into that zone really helps me to do that. So yeah, I would love to know if you have any questions about anything about meditation. I feel here to help with this and in any way possible. And like I said, I'm going to be creating I'm just trying to figure out what to call it. It's a course. It's not quite an online course. It's a masterclass. So I'm figuring that part out, but stay tuned for that, and I'm going to be sharing in more detail and really teaching the meditations that I use daily that helped me change my life. And if you're on a platform where you can like or comment, that would be amazing. And if not, if you could share this, if you liked this this content, please do share it with other people who you think might enjoy this as well. And until next time. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Speaking of Spirituality. If you'd like to connect with me personally or book a session for Quantum Soul Alchemy, you can find me on Instagram at Ascending with Amelia. Have a beautiful day.